Lesbian? What? That is gross. How could a woman like another woman? Hello, guys. Welcome to As If the Podcast with your host, me, Asia, my queen. That is me. That is she. I am where I want to be. How are you doing? I am doing well. I hope everyone has had a great day, great night. Whenever you're watching this, my day is about to get really, really, really busy. It's about to get super busy. And I like that for me because I'm doing everything that I enjoy. And you know what? When I get into those moods where I'm like, okay, I haven't been able to be creative. I haven't had any time. I've just been working my 9 to 5 in front of this damn computer. I'm about to go crazy. I be getting into a depression. I ain't gonna lie. So the fact that I am feeling creative and motivated to record and to edit and be interactive with people, I'm so happy because y'all, I've been I've been Mr. Scrooge. No bullshit. Bah humbug. Gug, 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 gug. But anyways, so today I'm going to come to you guys with a story time. I'm going to talk about my coming out story. And I put quotations around coming out because I didn't offer the information. The information just got offered. So let's talk about it. The first time I was introduced to the community was from a movie called To Wong Fu Thanks for Everything. It's about 3 drag queens. We've got Wesley Snipes, we got Patrick Swayze, we got John Leguizamo. I think that's how you say his name. It's basically about 3 drag queens chasing their dreams and the hardships in between that. And I remember watching that movie at about 5 years old and being like, they look like men here and then they look like women here. Okay, like it was that easy for me. And I think it's that easy for most children. I think adults really complicate that for children more than they do for themselves and then blame children for not knowing. It's like, no, you just complicated that for them. It's a dude and he's wearing a dress. That's it. That's all we got. That's all we got, right? And then I watched Crooklyn. Any of you guys who have watched Crooklyn, you know that there's a scene with RuPaul in the convenience store. I remember seeing her and being like, why do I feel this way? This is not normal. I'm not supposed to feel this way about another woman. Like, why do I think she's so fucking fine? But not in a way like I want to be her. Like I have felt for other women. It's like, I am interested, right? And I'm like 6 years old. So that feeling was ignored, and it was easier to ignore that feeling because I also am attracted to men. So it was easy to just be like, okay, this is not something I'm supposed to do, so I'm not going to do it. Until the 7th grade. And that's when 2 girls started dating. And I remember everybody was crazy about it. They're like, oh my God, so and so are dating. So and so are lesbians. And I was one of those people. I was like, lesbian? What? That is gross. How could a woman like another woman? Usually people who aren't comfortable with their sexuality will project that onto someone else who is. Almost like, how dare you love yourself and live in your truth? And without knowing, that's kind of how I was. I was like, oh, I'm kind of gay too, but like, ew, they're gay, you know? And I kept that idea until I started having a crush on one of the girls that had came out that she was a lesbian. And her and I started hanging out, and I started liking her even more. And then we started talking on the phone, and then I started liking her even more. And she started to come around, and she would come to my house, and I remember my mom being like, why are you hanging out with her? Keep in mind, this is all of our introduction into the community in person. Like, we saw gay people on TV, we saw trans people on TV. We didn't even call them trans at the time. But in person, I never really saw gay people, right? Like, it was not a thing. So my family was kind of like, wait, what's going on? You usually hang out with girls who are all girly and wear purses and skirts and shit like that. And now you come in and you bring in a stud in. And let me just tell you guys this. I had the cutest stud in school. Okay. Anyways, but I would always tell my mom that she was just my friend. And a lot of gay people have a story like this. Like, bringing their boyfriend or girlfriend home and being like, no, that's just my friend. That's just my friend. Whole time they're da-da-da-da-dunting. You get what I'm saying? So me and this girl, we started dating. No one knew about it. Probably one of her friends and then one of my cousins. And we intentionally kept it a secret because I didn't want anybody to know. We would write each other love notes like, oh, I can't believe how I feel about you. I'm so in love. You know, the gay shit. And one day, I'm cleaning my room. And for some reason, my mom decides to pick up a folded piece of paper off the ground, opens it, and starts reading it. And of course, my girlfriend's name is on it. And of course, it's saying that we're romantic. And I remember watching my mom's face, and I was like, holy shit. I didn't think she was going to kick me out or ban me from the home or whatever, but I didn't think anything, to be honest with you. I didn't know what to think, actually. So I remember looking at her and being like, Mom, can we talk? And she just walks away. So I'm in my room pacing like, holy shit, I cannot believe she fucking found out. What is going to fucking happen? What kind of conversation are we going to have? Then my dad calls me from downstairs and is like, hey, come down. We want to talk. So I get down there and I look at my mom and I'm like, you told him? And she's like, I had to. So we're going to pause right there. When someone comes out to you, it is their business to make it open to people. It is not your business to tell everybody that someone is gay, okay? It is not your business to tell. It just seems as though when someone finds out about someone else's sexuality, it's such big news, and then they want to report it. I can't stand a reporter. I can't stand someone who always needs to give the scoop. Find some scoop of your motherfucking own to tell. Okay? It's such a violation because we obviously feel open to tell you, hey, this is what it is. So if I felt open to tell someone else, I would tell someone else. So the fact that someone is open and trusting you, you should keep that to yourself. And plus, it is not your business to tell. And also, it could jeopardize someone's safety because some people don't have the experience that I had where I was still accepted in the home. I didn't get the shit beat out of me. I've heard many stories, like all of us, when someone comes out for being gay or trans or anything out of the ordinary and their safety is in question. So that's another reason why it is not your business to tell. but we're going to continue the story. So I sit down and I'm crying. I'm like, how could you fucking tell him? And oh my God, Dad, what do you think? And my dad's like, Asia, relax, please. You know I don't care about this type of shit. Then he proceeded to ask me if I was a lesbian or bisexual. And I'm like, oh, I'm bisexual. And that was the end of the conversation. Like, it literally went like that. But we're going to pause again because I want heterosexual people to understand the fact that I don't have to explain anything to you, right? A lot of people, specifically heterosexual people, feel like they're entitled to know if someone's gay or lesbian or a man or a woman, or if you've got your bottom surgery, or if you still have a dick, or if you have a pussy. Like, that is none of your business. It's so crazy how entitled people are to gay people's autonomy. Like, it's so crazy. They'll ask the most personal questions that they would never ask a heterosexual person. Like, you'll tell someone that you're a lesbian, right? And then they'll be like, oh, so how do you guys have sex? Do you ask a heterosexual person that? And I understand it's out of curiosity, whatever. But in that curiosity, there is a sense of entitlement in that you guys really have to check, because it's like, I'm just a human being. I'm just a human being that enjoys other women, and that is it, right? I'm not entitled to explain myself to you. I'm not entitled to your understanding. There are a lot of boundaries that get crossed when you're coming out of the closet because people feel entitled to know what's going on, who you're having sex with, how you're having sex, and to accept you. They feel like they have to understand you instead of accepting you because you're a human being, right? You really get dehumanized when you come out of the closet, right? There are certain gestures that they just wouldn't do, certain things that they just wouldn't say if you were a straight person, right? So I also wanted to tell this story because I felt like it was going to be so dramatic because of the stories that I have heard, the movies that I had seen where someone gets disowned for being gay, and that wasn't my experience. And even though there were boundaries crossed, looking back, I would say I had the most easiest experience when coming out. Oh my God. Like, literally, I could just walk in and be like, hey, Dad, this is my girlfriend. Or, hey, Dad, this is my boyfriend. It's nothing. It literally is nothing when it comes to my parents. Because, one, we all have our shit to us, right? I don't think being gay is being one of the things that I have to me. But I think that some business needs to be minded more than others. And one of that does not need to be who is having sex with me, right? And I think my parents definitely think that way too. They're like, okay, I have other things to worry about other than you having sex with a woman or you being intimate with a woman, right? I'm healthy, I'm smart, I'm clearly beautiful. There's not, you know what I mean? And I'm a good person. I'm cool. There's nothing to really complain about, right? So if you want to make that an issue, you can make that issue. I don't give a fuck if that is an issue for you. I also had experience with a friend's mom that had told someone that I was a waste because I was too pretty to be with a woman. Ma'am, Your son is ugly. Her son was ugly as fuck. Should I have been with your son? There's been so many times where people have been like, why won't you get with a man, someone who could take care of you? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this real clear. The realest niggas I've ever dated have been women. Let's get that clear, okay? Yeah. I want us to not only see love exchanged between family and people who are in the LGBTQ community. I also want to say that it is no one's business what you're doing in your personal life. So if you don't want to share that, you're entitled to never share that, right? Like I said, a lot of people feel entitled to know your business, especially when you're gay. It's like you have no privacy. They're always wondering how you're fucking, how you're doing this, how you're doing that. I want you to know that you are not wrong for wanting your privacy and not wanting to talk about your sexuality. You get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people come out and get on Twitter or Instagram and tell their coming out story and feel like it's needed. And if it's needed for you in that way, period. But you are also entitled to your privacy. Do what the fuck you want, okay? It's none of their business. Regardless if they're your family, close friends, whatever, as long as you're with a consenting adult, you don't need to explain anything to anybody. We're going to wrap this episode up here. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Asia My Queen. Subscribe to my channel, Asia My Queen. You could also listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can listen to me.